Player one.
Yeah.
Player two. Player three. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thanks, Johnny. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to work in the Jeopardy round. The first round of play today has these categories for you. Bible heroes. Celebrity AKA. My Spice. That's my ma. A hostile takeover. Player one, you start. When Jesus saw this tax collector and first gospel writer, he told him to follow me. Let's hear it, player one. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's the correct response. Matthew. Player one. In Judges, he said, "With the jaw of an ass have I slain 1,000 men." Yes, player one? Right, on the plus side again. Please pick again, player one. In Luke, he is quoted as saying, "I indeed baptize you with water, but one mightier than I cometh." Player one? Good for you. We return to you. Goliath mocked him, saying, "Am I a dog that thou comest to me with staves?" Yes, player one? That is correct. Player one? At the burning bush, God told him he was the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Yes, player one? That's not it. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Yes, player two. That's correct. A lot of clues, a lot of categories. Player two. Make us Destiny Hope Cyrus, Billy Ray's kid and star of TV's Hannah Montana, now goes by this first name. Okay, player one. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back into this. Player one, you make the next selection as we continue. A doctor who specializes in the treatment of skin diseases. Let's hear it, player one. Right.
Yeah.
Player one, pick again. All right, here with the clue is Kelly.
Its silhouette is seen here.
Okay, player one. Right. Player one, you pick again, please. It's off to the Hans Brinker Budget Hotel or Dirty Nellie's Inn. Sounds inviting. In this major European city. Let's hear it, player one. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? We're talking about Amsterdam. You again, player one. I'm sure the Red Bus Hostel is fine, but the Mellow Mood Central Hostel caught my eye in this capital of Hungary. It's player one. That's it. Select again. The Ceylon, or tree type of this spice that's good on toast, is buff-colored and mildly sweet. Okay, player one.
Yeah.
Right you are. We return to you, player one. It's the real last name of Nicolas Cage and of his famous uncle. Yes, player one? No, that's not right. Any other takers? Here's the correct response. Coppola. You again, player one. When she's got mail, we wonder if it's addressed to Margaret Hyra. Yes, player one? Sorry, that's wrong. Any other takers? Let's hear it, player two. That's correct. Player two, where do we start? Yes, sir. His real name is Reginald Dwight. Let's hear it, player one. No. Oh! Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's the correct response. Elton John. You get to pick again, player two. The name of this spice, important in Asian incense, can also refer to a small piece of garlic. Player one? Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's what we wanted. Clove. Select again. 66 plus 32. Player one? You got it. Player one, where do we start? Do the Funky Chicken Hostel or the Butterfly Villa Hostel in this Romanian capital. Let's hear it, player one. Good. Player one, choose again. In a sushi bar, you will likely be offered some pickled this, so you can cleanse your palate between bites. Yes, player one? Good. You get to pick again, player one. 17 times 6. Yes, player one? Sorry. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's what we wanted. 102. You get to pick again, player one. 23 plus 8 minus 16. Let's hear it, player one. That's it. We return to you, player one. Answer, a daily double. And you have the lead. How much? And the clue. 148 divided by 4. Even so, you are still in the lead. Here's what we were looking for. 37. We return to you, player one. Surf the Internet Hostel or the Marriott Hostel. Note the lack of an extra R and T in Marriott in this Bulgarian capital. Yes, player one? Yeah! Player one, back to you for enjoy the Sleep in Heaven Youth Hostel or the Newhound Boat Hostel in this capital of Denmark. Okay, player one. Hey, you're right. You again, player one. The movie's original Alfie He was originally named Maurice Micklewhite. Player 1? Sorry, that's wrong. Any other takers? Yes, player 2. Yep. All right, let's get back into this. Player 2 has control. Brassica junctia is the brown or Indian type of this spice. Yes, player 1? No. Oh! Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Player 2. You got it. Please pick again. Player 2. Popular in spaghetti sauce, wild marjoram is more commonly known by this name. Let's hear it, player 1. Good for you. Player 1, start us. Dr. Faustus, playwright. Player 1? Sorry, that's wrong. Any other takers? Okay, player 2. That's correct. All right, let's get back into this. Player 2 has control. 73 minus 14. Player 1? You are correct. A lot of clues, a lot of category. Game fish of the family Istiophoridae with a pointed snout. Let's hear it, player 1. You are correct. And we'll wrap up the board with this clue. In 1758, Ben Franklin issued his last publication of this annual. Okay, player 1. Yeah! Player 3 will select first in Double Jeopardy right after this. Player 3, make a selection, please, as we continue. St. John Eudes promoted devotion to this sacred body part, not just of Jesus, but of Mary, too. It's player 1. Any other takers? Yes, player 2. Right. Player 2, start us. St. Simeon Stylites resided for decades on one of these, 60 feet tall, from the French for support. Okay, player 1. Right. Player 1, the Pope struck a medal to celebrate the 1572 massacre of Huguenots on this Saint's Day. Player 1. Nope. Oh! Any other takers? Here's the response we were looking for. Saint Bartholomew. The order founded by this saint in Toulouse was zealous in carrying out the Inquisition. Okay, player 1. Yes, and you're back into some money. Please pick again. Saint Columba of this country was martyred in 853 after telling some Moors that Muhammad was a false prophet. It's player 1. No. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Player 2. Right. All right, let's get back into this. Player 2 has control. It's the third largest Hawaiian isle. Player 1? Correct. Where do we begin, Player 1? This man boasts, "He that knows better how to tame a shrew, now let him speak." Yes, Player 1? You get to pick again, Player 1. She's in Troy when she tells Pandarus, "Go hang yourself, you naughty mocking uncle." It's Player 1. Nope. Anyone else? It's Player 2. That's it. Player 2, you're in command of the board as we continue, right? Here's Sarah. She'll show you.
2 atoms of this element create a stable bond. When 3 of them bond, they form the unstable ozone molecule.
Player 1? Correct. Where do we begin, Player 1? A total solar eclipse is an example of this, from the Latin for conceal. It's Player 1. Correct. We return to you. To use the razor named for this 14th century English philosopher means to use economy in explanation. Let's hear it, Player 1. That is correct. Player 1, back to you for our next selection. Kelly?
These colorful organisms of the class Anthozoa include blue, precious, and horny species.
Yes, Player 1? That is correct. Player 1, back to you. New Orleans Set, The Cincinnati Kid, with him in the title role, is one of the great poker movies of all time. It's Player 1. That's correct. Player 1, back to you. Answer. One of the daily doubles. You are currently in the lead. What'll it be? And the clue. In this movie, Betty Davis plays a Southern belle who loses Henry Fonda when she wears a red dress to a ball. You have maintained your lead. Way to go. Select again. This rare fish, discovered in 1938, has been called a living fossil. Player 1? Yes. Player 1, choose again. The appropriately named Servilius is a servant to this title guy of Athens. It's Player 1. Sorry. Any other takers? Player 3? No. Anyone else? Yes, Player 2. That is correct. Player 2, start us. There's something in his soul o'er which his melancholy sits on brood, is said of this title character. Let's hear it, Player 1.
Hey, you're right.
Player 1, you start us off. Friar John gets quarantined, so he never delivers that really important letter that this friar wrote to Romeo. Let's hear it, Player 1.
Oh,
Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? We're talking about Friar Lawrence. Please pick again, player 1. This Shakespeare library, named for this Standard Oil man, is run by Amherst College. Yes, player 1? That's not it. Any other takers? It's player 2. Ooh, sorry. That's incorrect. Any other takers? Player 3? Good. Player 3, you're in command of the board as we continue, right? This country's national library, the Biblioteca Nacional José Martí, was financed by a tax on sugar. It's player 1. Good. Player 1, you're in command of the board. When his presidential library was dedicated in 1991, 4 former presidents were in attendance. It's player 1. That's right. Way to go. Please pick again. Answer. The second daily double. You are in the lead right now. What are you going to wager? Here is your clue. It's the O in an IPO, a corporation's first attempt to sell stock to the public. Even so, you are still in the lead. Here's what we wanted. An offering. Select again. The Radcliffe Camera, Britain's first round library, is the main reading room of this bigger library at Oxford. Player 1? Oh, sorry. That's incorrect. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Yes, player 2. That is correct. A lot of clues, a lot of categories. Player 2. Make us the Hector Hodler Library in Rotterdam, which is devoted to this artificial language, has over 15,000 books. Player 1? Yes. Player 1, you start us off. The blue whale is the largest member of this order of animals. Yes, player 1? Good for you. You get to pick again, player 1. In a 1953 comedy, Abbott and Costello try to go to this planet, but end up at Mardi Gras instead. Yes, player 1? Correct. Player 1, back to you. It warms the depths of my heart to know you're about to tell me the name of this small edible clam. It's player 1. Nope. Oh! Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's what we were looking for. The cockle. Player 1. Pick again. What do you mean I'm funny looking? I'm just this fish, also known as an anemone fish. It's player 1. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Yes, player 3? Nope. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Okay, player 2. Right. Player 2, start us. In The Buccaneer, Yul Brynner played this pirate who aided Andrew Jackson in the Battle of New Orleans. Okay, player 1. Correct. And we'll wrap up the board with this clue. Critic Michael Kleinschrott said of this star in The Big Easy, the very worst example of a New Orleans accent. Let's hear it, player one. Only 2 of you will be going on to Final Jeopardy. Sorry, player 3. So much depends on how you do in the Final Jeopardy category, which today is landmarks. You need to select your wager. Let's take a look at the last clue. The quote, "with malice toward none," is on the wall of his Washington, D.C. memorial. What did you say? And that will set you back. What did you say? And that correct response will add. This makes you our new champion, player one, so congratulations. So long, everybody.